Welcome back to the Constitution Line by Line. I'm Don Frazier.
I'm Paul Fabrizio.
And we are working our way through the longest run-on sentence in American history. I'm speaking, of course, of Article 2, Section 3, Clause 1. Now we're at D.
That's right.
I mean, this thing just keeps on going. All right. So the president has legislative powers that we're talking about in this section. And one of the things that he also has is, well, the way it reads, is he shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers.
Okay.
Now, why is that important?
Why that's important is it establishes the president as the chief diplomat for the United States.
He's the point of contact. So
Right.
you got to have a POC.
Yeah, you've got to have someone who is going to deal with foreign affairs. And so what better way to do that than you're going to be the one who receives the ambassadors.
Can you imagine if it was by lottery in the House of Representatives on who would receive ambassadors
West
and other
Texas,
public
it's
ministers?
your turn this week.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm going to wear my boots and my hat with a big fan on top because I'm for renewable energy. Oh, my gosh. It would be an absolute nightmare.
Exactly.
So you have to – that's that dignity thing we're talking about.
Ooh, dignity.
This is part of the dignity of office.
Yes.
And so we've got a chief executive, and now we see him as, in many ways, being the United States personified.
Right. Think of the powers that we've given to the president so far.
Yeah, correct.
He is the commander-in-chief. He is the one who deals with the legislative branch, gives messages, that sort of stuff. And now he also is going to be the one who's going to receive ambassadors.
Yeah.
We already know he can appoint ambassadors. So we're really accumulating to the president an awful lot of responsibility.
And personal presence.
And some countries separate their chief of state from...
Like a constitutional monarch.
Right. From the head governing officer.
The prime minister in some cases.
Exactly. So England, Queen,
the dignity of royalty.
And then the prime minister,
which
carries
is
it out.
The reality.
Yeah. And the reality is that most countries have that. Canada has a governor general and a prime minister. Japan has an emperor and a prime minister. The United States, we dump it into one.
Yeah, we have a prime minister president.
Exactly. Russia also, I believe, does the same thing. No, Russia does not. Russia has two separate people.
That's right. We only hear about one. But there's the other guy kicking around.
Medvedev,
yeah.
Dmitry Medvedev, or
who does whatever Putin says.
Yeah, exactly. So here we give it all to one person. And, there's some people who say, the president is so busy. Is this a good use of the president's time? Receiving ambassadors, in one sense, it's a, as you said, dignified thing. It's really not a big deal. The ambassadors come in, you welcome.
They present their papers.
Their credentials, and that's it. But it's an important role. Does it need to be done by the president? Should we have a ceremonial head of state?
Smacks of monarchy.
It smacks of monarchy. Maybe it does. But we just don't. So the president is the one who greets the basketball teams when they win the national championship.
Yeah.
Greets the ambassador of Botswana when they come to the United States, when we get a new one. And then deals with the legislative matters of Congress, and then goes and does a campaign rally. Is that really a good use of our president's time?
Well, the converse to that is if we have foreign ministers meeting with members of Congress aside, presenting their credentials to them.
Yeah.
And saying, I am citizen Genet.
Yeah.
And I want to, because this is kind of a real thing, and he was presenting his credentials not as a representative of France to the president, but a representative of France to the Congress, and was actually trying to work out some of the congressmen to be sympathetic to what was going on in France.
And this was when?
This is in the late 1700s, early 1800s. So. Yeah, late 1700s, the Citizen Genet affair.
Okay.
And so
Now Congress tries to get their hand in foreign affairs.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. But you have to have a protocol.
Right.
And there's such a thing as diplomatic protocols.
Yes.
And you don't want to have diplomatic protocols with the House of Representatives or even the Senate.
Right.
Because in the Senate, if it in fact is the personification of the unity of the states, how does that work? There's only one person, there's only one candidate, and that's the chief executive.
Right.
So that's why this is in here.
Yes.
Makes
Very
perfect,
good. Don't know what else to say about it.
Nothing else to say about it.
In one sense, it's short and sweet.
Yeah. So that's our line. All right. We'll come back next time with a new line. Thanks.